Hi, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Tech Talk SMB. You can see on the screen here that I have a wonderful guest today, Miss Megan Olson. Megan is a software engineer and a product manager from Fortra. Interestingly, Megan is a bit of a newcomer to the IBM community. She graduated school with a degree in software development in 2020, and yet in just 5 years later, I consider to be a very considerable driving force in this community. I have seen her accomplishments. I've seen, and we'll talk about all these things because it's really an interesting story. Megan, thank you so much for joining me here today.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Charlie. I appreciate it. I'm happy to be
Absolutely.
here.
Oh, that's awesome. Thank you. I'm so glad you're here. Megan, as I continue reading some of the bio here that you have here, um, Megan is actively involved in the platform's future, which is absolutely amazing. But what caught my eye more recently, joined the boards of Q User and the Southeast Michigan User Group, IBMI Group, as well as the N2I committee, which is unbelievable. And we'll talk about some of these things also. But really, the thing that caught my attention the most was Megan is deeply passionate about programming on IBMI, mentoring new developers, and contributing to the platform's continued growth. That says a lot. So why don't we just stop there and just give me a little bit of background on some of that. And then I have lots of questions for you, but let's just start even with what I've said so far. So first of all, welcome again,
Thank
and
you.
thank you for joining me. So talk about what I've even talked about, mentioned over here. You started only 5 years ago with your degree in software development, yet here we are today, and here you are speaking at conferences and things like that. It's amazing. So why don't you go
Yeah.
now?
I definitely, when I first started, I had such an impactful career, I guess, start just right away from the amount of mentorship I had. And it really drove me to, as soon as I could, basically kind of turn around and start making that a priority to keep that mentorship mentality going for everybody else who's starting. I don't think I would have been able to get where I am if it wasn't for all of the people around me and all the mentorship I had. So I really want to help drive that to continue because we have so many other people like myself that are getting started and they're going to need the same thing. And I kind of want to use my career start to help show what can happen if you give somebody the right mentorship and the right start is possible for a lot of other people to get started too.
So let's take a step back. You talk about mentorship, and I know even speaking for myself, I've had mentors who've put me on certain tracks, and I'm forever grateful to them. I know there were at least one person you told me that really made a big difference on you. Why don't you talk about that one person and why they're so
Yeah,
special to you?
yeah, definitely. Shar Parker was the professor at the college. I got my degree in software development, but she specifically taught IBMI courses. And at the time, I didn't know what a unique, awesome thing that was that we had that opportunity. But she not only did that, she actually helped me find software development as my career path as well. She picked up on my interest right away and was very much like, here's all of this awesome things, here's what you can do. Let alone she did punch card programming back in the day and she started telling our class about that. I was absolutely amazed. She was just such an amazing person and inspirational, and she really helped solidify this as my career path and helped me get started. She actually helped me also find my internship at Fortra, which is where I'm at today. So she really made a big difference. And it was amazing to me. That wasn't just me, it was so many people that got started on this platform because of her teaching those courses and helping everybody get started.
I never had the chance to speak with Char. I mean, I know Char, but I never had the chance to speak to her about this very topic. But I suspect that there might have been somebody even in her life or career that put her on a certain path
Yep.
and to pay it forward in that regard.
I would imagine so. It seems to be like when somebody has that experience, they kind of tend to want to do the same thing. So I like to think of it that I've had such great experiences like that. That's why I want to turn around and do the same.
I am sure that Char would be thrilled to know that you're continuing this legacy, if you will, or this momentum that has been started even before I joined the platform, before she joined the platform. And now surely there are people, and we'll talk about your speaking at some of the events, but there must now be people who are even now younger than you, or just starting out where you were 5 years ago, perhaps, that now will be saying your name as their inspiration and their mentor. What do you think about that?
That would be amazing. I really hope that I can give somebody else the same experience that I had, really. That would be so, so amazing to hear.
I wonder what it was about Char. I can tell you, for me, for my mentors, it was always their passion, which is really infectious. Passion and commitment and excitement, things like that. So what is it, if you could distill it down to just a couple of, was there any one thing that your mentor Char brought to you that really, were a light bulb? Did you have an aha moment, or a light bulb went off?
I'd say for me it was really her confidence in this whole platform, in that this was a good trajectory for anybody. She was very confident that like this is somewhere that we would all go and succeed. And she's a very smart person. So when you felt that confidence that she had, that this was a good path for us to take, you really, I believed that, and she was right.
I think that's great. Yeah, mentorship for sure. And I find it in this particular community, I find a real strong commitment. There are many mentors that are out there. Some people deliberately, and some even by accident. You don't realize that you're inspiring people. You might hear years later. I mean, I've told people years later in my career, you were one of the people, and they said, me, what did I possibly say? And, well, no, you said there was one thing that you said that stuck with me, and that's really, that's what it's all about. So I'm thank you for recognizing Char, and that I'm sure she'll be thrilled. We'll make sure that we let her know about this. That'd be great. Well, let's keep going, because I want to talk about your where you've come in these short 5 years, as we said. So I've been speaking in the community for a long time, at common events, including the most recent Common Navigate, and your name was on the speaker roster, which was absolutely amazing, and I was thrilled to see that. But I've seen you at other events as well, and the name of your session is Beyond Legacy: Thriving in a Modern IBM Career. I have been saying for years how this system is modern, and we need to get newer developers, but more importantly, that it's a very robust and capable machine. But somehow it sounds different, I think, when you say it, and I mean that in a good way, because now people can now see it through new eyes. And maybe it has a different meaning, or it has a stronger meaning, perhaps. So I'm just going to read one or two sentences from your session abstract, and then we'll talk about that, because this really fascinated me. IBM platform is often seen as a legacy system, powerful but dated. And now this is you talking. As a young developer who entered the space, I encountered that perception head on. But what I found was a vibrant, evolving platform with modern tools, active communities, and incredible opportunities for growth. Mm-hmm. I think that one paragraph right there, you can almost say it wraps up your whole 5 years already, right?
Absolutely.
So what things that you, I mean, obviously you said it already, but let's explore some of that more. First of all, we basically mentorship, of course, but how was your message received when you gave that session at Navigate?
Honestly, it was amazing, and that was my first time speaking at all too. So I was a little bit terrified. But it was great. I was so taken back by, not only, I was expecting there to be like maybe a couple students. That's kind of what I was thinking in mind, of like, I just want to, let these guys know, hey, this is a good look at me kind of thing. But there was also a lot of I'd say like people who are in the other position of looking to get other people onto the platform as well. And it was really kind of like you just said, they've all been saying it, but kind of feeling like it's not getting across, right? And for whatever reason, I feel like I'm saying the same thing they're saying, but when I say it, it means a little bit something more, just because I feel like, hey, I'm proof. I'm right here. This is what just happened to me. it's not just me saying that when I've been here for 30 years. My experience getting started was a little bit different. So to see somebody that is still here and doing the same thing, but I also went through more recently the getting started part of it. So I feel like it resonates more with the people who are getting started to see that and know that it's possible.
And how was your first speaking experience?
Awesome. It was way better than I expected. I didn't realize how much it was more like having a conversation with a lot of great people that were interested in the same thing I was. So it was really exciting. And mostly there was a couple students in there that I got to talk with after that waited, and they said that was really great to hear that, and it made an impact on them. And that was enough for me to like, okay, I want to do this more. And that's exactly what I want to do, is to just be an example to them, to show them, hey, you can get started here, and it's definitely a great place.
It's definitely addictive. Once the bug bites you, it
Yes.
definitely becomes addictive, and you want
Yes,
to
it
do more and
is.
more
When you
of
see
it.
you can make a difference like that, it's exciting and you want to keep doing it.
And you can oftentimes see immediate results. People come, as you said, they come right as soon as the session is done, they come right up to you, and they will give you some kind words, and that's what keeps people going and keep wanting to do more.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. One of the things that we spoke about prior was even, for example, when you were speaking at Navigate, there was this notion as this statue that you said you admired. It was the fearless girl, and I wrote that down because that's on Wall Street in New York, where I'm from, and I've seen that statue, and that statue really symbolizes courage, determination, resilience, and hope, particularly for women, for young women especially. And I'm just curious why you gravitated even to that statue. What was it about that message that really captivated your interest?
That definitely, when I was trying to think about explaining what it was like to get started, and as I was trying to work on creating that presentation, I kept thinking, well, a lot of words on this paper, presentation, it didn't get the message across. So I kept trying to think of ways to like put in some imagery, and that statue came into mind when I was trying to describe what it felt like to just even initially try to get in the door, because you feel like you're already facing a huge obstacle just because of the stigma around the platform. So you already have a lot to learn. You're already getting into a lot, but then let alone you have this negativity that you also have to face at the same time. So you have to be prepared to like face a lot before you even get started. So to me, it felt very much like that, let alone you have the like being a female in the tech area is a little bit challenging as well. So there was just a lot of things that I felt like I had to face right away. And obviously the second I got through that, it's been amazing, but I had to be prepared for that. And I had to face that because it's very easy to just turn the other way just from the negativity alone. I had people tell me I needed to learn something else as a backup because this was going to be a dead end. And they're confidently telling me that. So it's very hard to just be sure of yourself and what you're doing when you have that opposite kind of reaction from people. And then it's still hard to get started learning, and you've got to be able to, it's hard when you have your mindset is so important when you're just getting started learning something, and then you've got that negativity building on top of it. It's hard. It was hard for me, but it's everybody else that's getting started in this platform right now is facing that same thing of really, there's a lot of questioning around the future. And if you've got that on top of it, it makes it so much harder for everybody to get started. So that was a big thing of why I wanted to start speaking and helping others. I want to kind of counteract that negativity and give them a voice of positivity around getting started here. So it makes it easier for people to see this as a career path opportunity.
Yeah, you mentioned this negativity, but it's not what you found. Once you made that first step and opened the door, all that perception was seemingly incorrect based on,
Oh,
what you're talking
absolutely.
about.
Yeah, it's such a wild, like, so contradictory to everything that I heard and was told when I got started. It was like, but I don't understand what these people are complaining about. This is absolutely not what I've seen already. And I've only been here a couple of years. I've seen so much evolving already in just my little time span. I've seen things evolving, let alone When I started, it was like everything's green screen, green screen. And I get here and I'm like, wait, that's like one tiny piece of what
Right.
we're capable of. We can plug into all these modern things. This is just not even right. I was pretty mind blown at the capabilities. Like I was not given that impression at all. And then I get here and I see, wow, this is amazing. We can do all kinds of stuff. How is everybody so wrong? And it makes you want to be louder a little bit to like, you know, yeah, it was crazy to me.
One of the terms I heard you mention once, and it really stuck with me, and I think I've even used it a couple of times because it really encapsulated everything. You said it's the paradox of the platform.
Mhm.
That's what you said. And why don't you, that is self-describing, of course, but why don't you elaborate on that? Because that's such a fascinating way to talk about this platform. What is the paradox of this platform? What?
Yeah, it's to me, it's such a paradox saying that it's a legacy, but really it's modern and it's just perceived as legacy just because it's been running for so long. But that is not at all, it doesn't equate to it being this old dying thing just because it's been running for a long time. It's stable and it has all these things that are you should boast about. It's running so many critical applications and it's so stable and it's been going for so long. That's amazing. That is not at all something that just means it's a legacy. And the fact that it's evolved, it's continued to go, and we have modern things. We can use modern languages. Yes, there's things that are older, but that's not all it's capable of. Let alone the system behind it and I didn't quite understand, and I'm still learning about like the hardware side of things and the capabilities of the whole system. It's amazing. And then when you kind of learn all that and you see that it's capable of doing all these things that are absolutely modern, it just does not fit at all with what that initial perception that I was given was.
Yeah, you said something else to me that also there's a couple. You have a lot of good one-liners, I suppose is the right word. One of them is the paradox of the platform, of course, and you also your discovery that what a well-oiled machine it is, and it truly is. I've seen many companies, large and small, get real high value out of the machine. But the other thing that you said to me was maybe somebody said to you once, oh, that's a machine where careers go to die. That's what you said to me. And I wrote that down while we were talking because that's so far from the truth.
Mm-hmm. Yes, absolutely. I probably did when I was talking about when I get started. I had multiple occasions of people, when you say, what are you going to school for? What are you going to do? Well, I'm learning software development and I want to go be on the IBM. What?
Hmm.
Are you sure? Are you learning something else? I just got so much of this impression that it was not the right thing to be doing and that was a dead end. I needed to learn something else. And here I am learning everything and absolutely no end in sight in my mind. So not at all what it was.
So what was there a breakthrough moment for you when you finally said, wow, I really do belong here? What was there something was there an event or a moment or a project? Was there something that you said, wow, I really, these are my people, this is where I belong?
Um, I'd honestly say that I felt that before I got started almost. What one of the bigger like driving forces in me, when I got started and I learned software development, Char was very well rounded in what she taught us. I learned different languages, so I could have gone in different directions with that. She also took students to conferences, and I went to one before I finished school actually, and I saw the community there, and I met people, and I talked with people, and I was blown away by the fact that here I am, the student that knows absolutely nothing useful. I'm in a no value to anybody there at that point. I didn't know anything. People were interested in coming up and talking to me and asking me what I thought about things, and everybody was so nice and willing to teach other people that wanted to know. I was immediately like drawn into that, and that was before I even got here. So I feel like it's just been a continual, like, it just built up from there. So after that experience, when I got started here at Fortra, it was very much the same thing. When I came on to my team, I started on Robot HA. There were senior developers on the team that also kind of helped me get started, and they were absolutely amazing mentors. And it was the same thing. My experience everywhere I've gone has been that continual, like, really great mentorship. Everybody wants to help you learn, and I've just had that the whole time I've been here, and it's amazing.
So over and over again, just repeats over and over again.
Yes.
So what do you tell people, young developers especially, I guess, who might be hesitant to join a user group, which is obviously a microcosm of a large conference, but even going to a large conference, let's say a Common Navigator, Common Power Up, or even larger than that. What's your advice to people who have not experienced one and maybe have some pushback about even attending one for a variety of reasons, their shyness or
Don't wait and do it as soon as you get here, even if you think that you don't provide a value or you don't have anything to give. It absolutely does not matter, and that's not what everybody else wants you to be involved for. So when I was hesitant at first to kind of get more involved just because of that. I felt like, well, I'm just learning. I don't know anything. I have no value to give that. Everybody's so smart and they know all these things and I don't know anything. So I kind of held myself back. And then now that I'm finally getting more involved, I'm looking around like, I could have been doing this the whole time. Nobody cared if I was able to. They just want to help me succeed as well. So it's the same thing. Like, these are user groups. We don't need you to be there to give us something. We're here for you. We're trying to help everybody else succeed. So don't wait to get involved just because of that. Get involved right away because it will help you grow and succeed as well.
and I say it again, so you talk about how, what do I have, what can I possibly offer to the community, right? And trust me, this is a community that I'm very involved with myself, so I get what you're saying, but your journey, the journey alone, forget the technical part, the journey alone is a story that needs to be heard by many people. There are many who are even, less ahead of you than where you are today. And you've taken those first steps already. And you can even, shine some light on, the potential landmines, if you want to call them landmines. But, here's a path that I took, and it's a very viable path. It's got a strong foundation. So that's high value. And I say it to anybody, even somebody with only 1 year, that's high value. So
Yeah.
I think it's great. And you talked about that coming to the groups. Well, let's talk about user groups, because those are much smaller than attending a large conference. I know you're involved with the board with two groups in particular. What do you see your role or the role of user groups still today in the community? What value are they still providing? Like newcomers, for example.
Absolutely. It's, to me, it's like the bridge between what do you need and what's available in the community. We're trying to gap that layer in the middle of, okay, what do you want to learn about? What do you need from the larger IBMI ecosystem? We'll go out and find that and bring you the sessions, bring you the technology, the education that you need on those things. So we're just trying to figure out what everybody is looking for, the new technology, trying to keep everybody up on it. There's a lot to keep up on. So just doing that alone and trying to make sure that we're getting the right resources for everybody to continue to grow here. And that's exactly why everybody just starting needs to get involved as well, because we just want to help you as well. So you got to let us know what you want. So I think it definitely, to me, it's kind of like that bridge between and
I've been going to conferences for a long time, and more recently, I should say that I'm thrilled that I'm seeing a lot more younger talent, younger faces there, and that's important. That's very important to me to see that. But sometimes I speak with some companies, and they might be a little reluctant, I think, maybe to hire somebody who's fresh out of college, who doesn't have many years experience. And the big joke that's in the community, if you will, is that everybody wants the unicorn.
Yep.
They want somebody who's in their 20s or in their 30s, but they want somebody who also brings 30 years experience, the
Hmm.
unicorn, right?
Hmm.
So is there a message that you might want to offer? Given that you obviously have a lot of associates who are younger than me, so in your age, I hate to say it like that,
Hmm.
but you know what I mean. What
Yeah.
what why, what message do you have to the veterans in the community or the employers to better understand a younger developer's perspective?
You absolutely don't just get to cherry pick and get your unicorns. You build them. Um, and I think that's exactly what was different and what I hope everybody else will continue to do about where I started with Fortra being I didn't have much to offer but the desire to learn and to want to figure it out. I was probably useless the first year I was here. I was just learning and but the freedom to do that made me such a strong developer in the end because I was able to just focus on learning and they fully accepted that. I did things, I made code changes and I built things, but it was more so take your time and learn, and that mentality was huge at my ability to then take off and start doing things faster in the long run. Had I just been pushed to like produce output and not learn anything right away, it wouldn't have been the same. And I think everywhere needs to understand that it's so important for everybody else getting started to have that like succession planning of like, here, this person's retiring, give them a year with somebody new before they go. They need that time in between to learn. Just having that time to learn, then you can get your unicorn out of that. But you have to build that. It's not something you just go out and find and get. You build it. Everybody is capable of doing those things. Just because they can't right out of the box go and run and do it doesn't mean that they aren't capable of doing it. You need to give people time to learn, and you can have that, but take some little patience.
Yeah, I think some of the veterans that are out there, they sometimes, well, some of the companies, I should say, I don't want to say any people, of course, but there are some veterans out there, perhaps, sometimes they forget that they were a young developer at one point too, and
Yep,
somebody gave them a chance, and then the
exactly.
company, and look at you, 5 years, now you're a product manager, I should say, product manager at Fortra, which is pretty amazing. So I think that's wonderful, and that's a good message to. I think it's a perfect model. You said you have to build. You have to build a unicorn, create a unicorn. It's doable. I mean, you're
Yep.
you're you're proof positive
Yeah.
right here.
Yeah, definitely. I didn't know much at all 5 years ago when I started. So it's definitely possible. And if it wasn't for, you know, a place like Portrait giving me that opportunity, I wouldn't have been able to get started. And I think it's everybody kind of, you have to put in that work to get that output. So they put in the work in me and I'm where I'm at, and now I'm able to give back, but they gave me that time to learn and build up and do those things. And I think everywhere, every company, everybody looking to get more people, you owe them that as well to get started. You'll have a better performing person in the end if you do that.
Yeah, props to them for believing in you also,
Yeah.
obviously, and giving you the space that you needed to learn and to thrive in their environment.
Yeah.
So I think that's pretty awesome. So let's kind of wrap this up, but. If you could speak to anybody today, a young developer, say, who is, let's say they're just starting their education even, or somebody who has some development, let's say they are a newly minted graduate, and now they're just considering IBMI, or there's something that they've heard of, but not quite sure what it is, things like that. What would you tell them about the opportunities that await them, potentially?
Um, absolutely take a chance on doing that. There's so much opportunity here, and it's only growing with the amount of retirements that are coming up essentially. There's a lot of job opportunity in a lot of areas here, and it's such a great, I'd say like a niche market, but there's such a community here. It's amazing, and you're not going to get that anywhere else. I mean, that was one of the things that really attracted me to this. I love the technology and I wanted to learn, but having that community behind your back makes your, if you're going to do this for the next 30 years, you want to be somewhere that you love and with people that you like working with. And I don't see that anywhere else. And it's something that's so unique here. And it really helps when you're up against learning a huge technology that has all this history and you've got a lot to do, to have those people behind your back. And it's a great career path for that. And it's really important to find those people right away.
I that was perfect right there. I want to I want to capture that and just take that message and just keep screaming it from the rooftops, because it's just so important. And you said it so perfectly. So thank you for that.
Yeah, thank you for the opportunity to share it.
Oh, I'm so thankful that you joined me here today. I'm so glad to see your your career just progressing as it is. It's fun to watch it. And anybody who's considering going to or being at an event, make sure you check out one of Megan's sessions. I can guarantee you'll get inspired. It's quite a story to watch somebody who has the passion, and also just it's a good thing. We'll leave it at that. It's fun to watch.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Sure. All right, we're gonna wrap this up. Megan, as always, great to see you. Thank you very much. For everybody else in our Tech Talk community, it's always great to chat with you, and we are looking forward to seeing you again down the road. Thanks, everybody. Bye-bye.